Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Reading FC podcast. Hope you guys are well. I hope you enjoyed the new intro that you guys would have just watched before that we released yesterday for you guys, where we did it with the NFL show, but we're now doing it for all of the shows, and it's going to become a common theme, which also means that I have to edit. Which it takes so long on this computer, it's unreal. So today, don't forget, down below in the description, there is a link to all of our social media pages. Go and give us a follow on there. I've found a hack that I don't actually have to copy and paste into the description all the time now. It just does it for me. So I found a way of doing that. So that's down there as well. Don't forget to give us a follow. Don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, go and click the top right and then click the subscribe button. You will see, if you go onto our YouTube page now, if you're not subscribed, there is a little video there for you guys to explain why I think you guys should subscribe to us. And if you are subscribed already, there is a little video there as well to say thank you for your subscribe. So go check that out as well. Go and have a little gander at it and tell me what you think of it. Today, we're going to be talking about the Norwich game, or if you're English, Norwich. We will be talking about that. We will also be building up to the game this weekend, and we are playing Brentford, aren't we?
Brentford.
There you go. We'll be doing a little build up to that. Josh is now going to become a regular. Not only does he do the F1 stuff, I can't fucking get rid of him. He's now doing the Reading stuff as well.
No, you asked me to come on this actually, so
you don't have to tell people.
Yeah. He's trying to get rid of me.
Yeah,
I'm trying to add more people, not trying to get rid of anyone. So I just want to say,
I don't get invited on the Sundays anymore.
No, you don't. Well, because you're playing fucking football, and the only time me and Courtney could do is when you're at football. And also, it's going to be quite fun this weekend. Anyway,
I'm hearing a lot of excuses.
Yeah, I'm man full of them. Don't worry about that. I'm an excuse for anything. So we will be doing. Fucking lost track now, you bell end. So not only will Josh be doing the F1 content for you guys on a Tuesday, Wednesday. I forget the days we're doing now. On a Wednesday, he is also going to be coming on the podcast to be doing Reading content as well every Friday for you guys as well. Just a little roundup of what we've done this week. On Monday, it was me and Courtney that sat down to discuss the QPR game, and then we had a lengthy discussion about Elise, what we think could happen to him. We gave a poll for you guys on Twitter as well when everything was happening, and we wanted to get what you thought. So we will discuss a little bit more of that with these two here a little bit later on. On Tuesday, me and Gulam sat down and we talked all things WWE. We talked Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. We also did our predictions for the TLC pay-per-view coming up this Sunday. And the winner of that, the loser, has to do a video like we did for the F1 show, explaining why the other person is the greatest. If you watch on Wednesday, we did the F1 show in the afternoon with you guys, where we discussed all things Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which I think we all can agree that we all nearly fell asleep during too. And we also discussed some of the headlines. We've got a lot of headlines coming up. It's also being talked about that this weekend. Red Bull are going to announce who is going to be in the seat next year. So it's Christian Horner has already come out with a statement and said he has made his decision. But it will be announced soon. I can see who Josh wants already, so we will go through that a little bit more. Marzipan, as I'm now going to call him, I don't give a fuck what his real name is. Marzipan from now on, he's becoming a lot more trending over Twitter and Instagram due to him trying to get rid of him. So we will discuss a lot more of that. Yesterday, for you guys, we released the NFL show. It was a lot more entertaining. It was a lot of fun. We went through our predictions where we thought. We all ran through the fixtures. We also talked all things about the upcoming weekend as well. It's me versus Fred, Miami versus New England, and it's Rob versus Dan, where it's Falcons versus Bucks. So it's going to be an interesting podcast for everyone next week when we go through it. So yeah, right, let's get into it. So both of you, before we get into the game and talk about it, on the podcast on Monday, we did a brief overview about Reading's record, but I wanted to get what you both thought, what you both were thinking before going into the game. So the reason why I ask you is, let's have a look at the history. Since the whole history between Reading and Norwich, they've played. Reading have won 29 times. Norwich we have drawn 19 times, and we have lost to Norwich 29 times. The previous 5 fixtures, we haven't won one. We've lost 4 and drawn 1. The 8th of April 2017, we lost 7-1. Then we lost 2-1. Then we lost 3-2. Then we lost 2-1, and then we drew against them 2-2. Ryan, I'm going to go. Actually, no, you're eating a Pringle. Josh, I'm going to go to you first. How were you feeling going to the game? Were you confident? Were you optimistic?
Not at all. I thought we were going to get absolutely battered. I thought we were going. I never liked it. I always try to predict us to win, and then I was like, this could be. I think it's understand was the 7-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the playoff final season, wasn't it?
That was the day I became a Solihull Moors fan.
Sam Smith scored that day, didn't he? But I
can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. And,
Solihull Moors lost 9-1 that day.
Did they?
Or it might have been 9-0 to Tranmere.
Oh,
I remember.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching it in the pub, and I said, I've had enough of this. I'm supporting the next team to concede a goal, and it was Solihull Moors.
Solihull Moors, the
only team in world football with a heavier defeat than Reading that day.
Yeah. I was at my local size game that day, and there's a big bunch of Reading fans who all live where I live, and we were all just sat there on Twitter scrolling, and it was goal to Norwich, and I think I remember Sam Smith scored, and we all just started celebrating at this non-league ground because Reading, Sam Smith had scored for Reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was on the Stam.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be another 7-1.
It's quite funny how he does that. We lose that game, but then we still get to the playoff final. Just maddening. And Ryan, how were you feeling? Because I know in the predictions that we did with Adam for the monthly predictions, you predicted a 2-2 in that game. It looked like, and what I've seen and what I've heard, it should have been a draw, but we'll get more into that later. How were you feeling before that? Were you feeling a little bit more confident going into that?
Not really. I was kind of hoping it was Pauno's mind games again. Like I had a feeling that, like, who knows at this point.
I still can't remember if I actually played Alpha Semedo or Sonia Luca as the false 9.
All right, don't talk about that yet. That's a topic in a minute. Shut the fuck up. Stop ruining my research, dickhead.
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't. I thought we could have got something out of it. Mm-hmm. I thought Norwich were there for the taking, because I know they also have had quite an injury crisis recently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the injury crisis. We'll get on to more of who the injury players are a little bit more later on after we go through the game. But the starting 11 was Raphael, Holmes, Morrison, Moore, Gibson. And then in the middle was Reno and Laurent. And then in the midfield, apparently, according to Sky Sports, I'm just saying, it was Aluko, Elise, Ijario, and up front was Semedo. On the bench was Walker, Estevez, McIntyre, Baldock, East, Melvin Lambert, Bristow, Tene Watson, and Onion was on the bench. We'll have a little bit of laugh and a joke about Onion after Christmas Day. So Ryan, do not ruin anything after Christmas until the Christmas.
All I'm saying is he can't have been on the bench because he never signed for Reading.
You will get that and understand that on the
Christmas Day eventually.
It comes out on Christmas Day, but. The overview of that was Ryan. Yeah, you still are, and it's annoying me. The overview of that starting a lineup, Ryan, I'm going to go to you. Is that a good starting 11? Would you have picked that? And secondly, is there any future now for Baldock? Because he was the only recognised striker we had out of all of the players we've got, and he still gets dropped.
I don't know. I don't think it does mark the end of Baldock.
You think it does or doesn't?
Doesn't, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you some facts, and I want to see what you think of this. So I had a little bit of a look about Baldock's history with Reading FC. Last season, he played 26 games. for us, and he got 6 goals. This season, he's come on 8 times and still hasn't got a goal.
But he's also a shithouse, and I love it.
Yeah, he is that, and I agree with you on that part. But his contract runs out at the end of the season. We know that he's a very outspoken person after that Blackburn game, and he sort of disappeared after that game. Do you think Reading will offer him another extension, or will Reading find a way of maybe getting rid of him for free? I think it was maybe get rid of him for a free in January to free up some
free or fee. Free or fee.
Free.
Oh, yeah, we're not getting a fee for him, not at all.
No, free, completely and utterly free. Just go. You have him. You just have to pay his wage. We're not paying it.
We couldn't give him away.
No. But what are you thinking? What did you think when you saw that starting lineup?
Right. First of all, to what you said about Baldock, I think we should play it smartly. I think we should give him the opportunity and see, like, especially now when he's the only fit striker at the club because under 23s don't count. So give him a chance to impress, and if he does, then there's every possibility of him getting a contract, because it's the same for Aluko, isn't it? Aluko's contract in the summer. Yeah. If he impresses, I've got no objection to giving him a contract extension.
No, I'm not at the moment. I'm quite happy for maybe a year extension to what he's got at the moment. Maybe a lot less wage than what he's on.
Yeah.
But give him a year extension to what he's got. Josh, I'm going to ask you this question. A lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people around saying the situation with Baldock isn't good. We've only got him as a recognised striker. Why are we not playing him? What do you expect this Reading team to happen? Did you expect Reading to go out there and give him a challenge like they did, or was there something else? Or did you really prepare yourself for the worst?
Can I jump in as well on that?
Myself for the worst. Yeah, go
on. Okay, I was going to say, I think Pauno played it quite well, because I think Baldock is a very good player coming off the bench.
Yeah, he is.
Because let him run at tired defenders. No one's catching him. He's that, like I said before, he's that shithouse player. He runs a lot. He'll run until he physically can't anymore.
Yeah.
And against a tired back four, that's what you want.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this back at you and say that that's what he's done all season this year, but still hasn't scored and hasn't really actually made an impact coming off the bench this year.
But he doesn't always come on to score, though. I think sometimes he comes on just to be that pressing striker when we're winning.
Yeah.
But do you really think that he's made an impact enough this year with the pressing and what he's done to even deserve to even be here?
I mean, you say how many times has he played this season? 8. How many?
8, I think it's 9 now. I think it's
9. But he's only started 1, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you.
Possibly in the cup.
I'll go through it this season. He played 32 minutes against Norwich. He started against QPR, played 86 minutes. He played 5 minutes against Forest. He played 15 minutes against Sheffield Wednesday. He played 1 minute against Millwall. He played 11 minutes against Bournemouth. He played 28 minutes against Stoke. And he played 20 minutes against Preston.
So...
Oh, and he also played the full 90 against Luton, the game we kind of intended to lose.
The kids' game.
Yeah.
The under-23's fixture.
And he played 13 minutes against Derby.
Yeah, that's...
I think other than QPR, he's not really had...
Against QPR, he kind of had scraps to feed off in the game. Like, against QPR, he didn't get many clear-cut chances almost, other than maybe the one that he was just short of making connection to, which if he did, he was scoring. So it's like...
He also did make an impact because he come off from McIntyre, who got the assist.
Got the assist. The greatest assist known to man.
So let's go on to the game. The first goal was scored by Norwich. I can't pronounce his name properly, and you'll know this.
Buendia.
Thank you. You'll know this from the podcast previous. I can't ever say names. So he scored the first goal of 11 minutes. What did you make of that goal? Free for
Awful.
Okay.
It's the case with so many times this season, but it came from our own mistake. Just a loose ball from Rinomota. We say it a lot, our own mistake, and people say everyone deserves 1 in the case of Raphael, who deserved 5. But if anyone does deserve 1, Rinamotor is. He is our most consistent player.
Mm-hmm. So 3 minutes later, Sky have credited Elise with the goal from Ejaria's shot. I saw that. I've seen the goal. I saw the build-up. Excellent build-up. What did you make of the goal?
Were you listening to Sky commentary, Josh?
Yeah.
Because I think at one point they were going to try and credit to me. Because they first of all, they said it'd come off a defender, then they tried to give it to Ejaria, then Elise, then Semedo. I think even in the second half, just after half-time, they actually said, we're going to have to give it to you in a minute. To the co-commentator.
Who wasn't it? Lee Hendry. Yeah. It was Lee Hendry on Sky commentary. Because they were talking about how he had a trial under McDermott when we went up. That's why it came up in conversation.
Oh, Jesus bloody Christ. And then the second half, let's go through another terrible refereeing decision again. What did you make of the penalty?
It was never a penalty, but you shouldn't give him the opportunity to go down. Yeah, but why was Moore diving in like that? He didn't need to dive in. You don't give a player an opportunity to go down in the box.
Especially like Max Aarons, who's very skillful, but he isn't the biggest of players, is he? Like, if he goes down softly, the rest are more likely to give it to someone who's a bit smaller than someone who's a bit like. So there's no, like, if Morrison goes down or something quite softly, the rest are not going to give it compared to like Max Aarons, is he?
Yeah.
So funny fact, I don't know whether you know about
to go down.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
I don't know whether you know about Max Aarons, but in the summer he was very close to signing a 5-year contract with Barcelona.
Yeah, well, Sky said it was. Yeah, I was gonna say Sky said it was. Barcelona offered a 1-season loan with no option to buy,
and then it was negotiated to go into a 5-year deal after they signed it. But he was going to be a backup if they did not sign Sergio Dest, who they actually got in the end. So I think that would have been a good signing for him. I like Max Aarons. I think he's a very, very good player, but he did not help himself. He did not help himself with that dive. So what did you make of the penalty? Timo Pukki has been getting a lot of people saying he's not that great this year. What did you lot make of the penalty, and what did you make of his performance?
I won't lie, I don't think he's that great altogether.
I don't think he did much, really, other than the penalty.
Yeah, people say as well. He had 2 opportunities in the first half, which were both comfortable saves by Raphael.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't think of anything he'd done bar score a penalty. And about the penalty, if the keeper goes the right way, that is a proper
woeful pen.
Like, you know how Lyle Taylor takes a penalty, how he walks up and does it. If he misses that, he's going to look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And that would have been the case for Pukki.
He kicked it so softly to the left, he just got lucky Raphael went the wrong way.
It's like that click penalty.
Yeah.
Which one?
You know, Leeds got a penalty in the first minute against... Who was it against?
I'm trying to think now.
West Ham.
I think I know who you mean.
West Ham. Fabianski saved it, but he came off his line by about that much.
That much, and got retaken.
I've got you. So going into the next part of it, let's talk about the statistics and the stats at the end of that game. Reading had 45% possession. Reading had 7 shots compared to Norwich's 11. We had 2 shots on target compared to their 6. We had 2 shots off target compared to their 3. Reading blocked 3 of their shots compared to their 2. Reading had 80% pass percentage. And I put this stat in because I found this incredible, and I didn't really believe this until I really done research. Aerial duels won. Reading won 60% of aerial duels in that game. I don't think I've seen a stat where aerial duels we had that many, to be honest. Are the defenders for Norwich or attackers 3'4", or
they're all quite small? Well, Bundy is tiny. Buendia was up against Lewis Gibson on the left. He's never winning an aerial duel there.
I'm going to say as well, I thought I was impressed with Gibson.
He was good. I saw a few people who were taking digs saying he's getting beaten too easily, but it's his first full start at left back.
Out of position. Also, I can really only think of one time where he was actually properly beaten.
Yeah.
So what did you make of the overall team performance? Was there positives that you guys could take from that?
There's a lot of positives.
Okay,
a lot of positives.
So explain why.
We're missing 5 first-team players.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a goal scorer on the pitch. And we still created a couple of chances. But when you're missing... it says a lot that we had that team out and we're missing Mate, João, Puskas, Swift, Yedom, Araruna, who would all be in and about the first team.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. Once Yedom's back, he will be playing with Holmes.
With Holmes, yeah.
Yeah. But Swift gets in that team. Mate is a massive, massive miss.
So
João obviously walks back into the team.
I'm going to bring something up here. So her favourite stat of some people's XG. So let's quickly just say this. The XG is so similar, other than the fact that Norwich had a penalty which has a probability rate of 77% of going in. So that kind of proves that they didn't really deserve an open goal from open play. If you look at it, all they get in their chances really, the only clear-cut chance they properly get is a penalty.
I would say both of their chances were clear-cut, but
they
come from our own mistakes.
Yeah.
Rinomota, let's be honest, how many times have you seen him misplace a pass like that? I can't think of one.
I can't think of one.
And again, just a moment of stupidity from defenders diving in that. Give him the opportunity to throw himself down.
Yeah, it's not even like it's a game where you can see the defenders getting frustrated or anything, because we're 1-1 against top of the league Norwich. So it's there's no reason to be frustrated. I'd have taken. I know it sounds quite negative, but at home I take a 1-1 draw at home to Norwich. At that point,
they're the best away team in the league.
Exactly.
I think they were saying they've beaten Bournemouth away, they've beaten Bristol City away, they've now beaten us away.
I'll have a look now.
Yeah,
that would help.
So let's talk about the injuries. As Ryan brought up, I thought this is another topic I wanted to bring out with everyone as well. At this precise moment, we've got John Swift out that could be back for the Boxing Day fixture against Luton, but we don't know yet. Felipe Araruna has just started some running training. George Puskas is out until next year. Andy Yedom is out till next year. Yaku Mate is out till next year. Lucas João has gone back to Portugal to go with the former Reading fitness coach Rui Costa, I think his name is. He's gone back with him.
Santos.
Thank you. He's gone back with him to go that, and there's no Omar Richards. Do you think that if we had all of these players back, I know this is hypothetical and we're just going to say it, is if we had all of those players out, do you reckon we would have beaten Norwich?
We trounced Norwich. Trounced. I think we batter Norwich with everyone fully fit at home, if you look at it. Because I think we lacked having that big man up, a goal scorer, and the big man who's good with his feet in João is what we lacked as well, I feel. Because I know we've got Alpha who's up front, and Velko likes to say he's good at retaining the ball and stuff, but he's not. At the end of the day, he's not a natural striker, so he's not going to be able to do certain or cope with certain scenarios like João would.
So we've got. So how much of a difference do you think Swift will be when he comes back?
I've said it before.
It's only a matter of time before he does.
I've said it so many times. Swift is the only like-for-like replacement for Elise.
Elise, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It depends if he keeps playing Elise off the right or whatever.
he's the only player that can create opportunities like Elise can. If Ajaria was a little bit quicker to react, had that killer instinct, then we would get more chances. Yeah. But he hesitates on the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got João, Meite, who are goal scorers, but you've seen it so many times this season. That assist for Meite's goal against Bristol City, one of the best passes you'll see in the league this season.
Yeah.
No one
is that the outside the boot one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one other than Swift at the club can create an opportunity like that from nothing.
Yeah. And Elise has that bit of flair as well that I think Swift sometimes lacks to hit that like outside the boot pass as well.
So, right, let's move on from Norwich, the Norwich game, and let's talk into some of the talking points that have happened, some of the stats that have happened this week, and I want to get both of your opinions on it.
Did you know since the start of October in the Premier League, Arsenal have given away the same amount of foul throw-ins and they have scored goals?
Scored goals.
Jesus Christ.
To Bellerin throw-in masterclass.
He's a throwing genius. Right, let's start off with the first big topic that happened this week. Paunovic has rejected the offer for his to manage his home country in Serbia to be their national team coach, which could mean one of two things. I want to get both your opinions, but what I read into that is Reading have finally... I need to fucking touch wood. Hold on. Touch wood. Found a manager who they're going to start planning around long term. It looks like there's a plan in place for how to build a team for Paunovic moving forward. What do you both make of it?
I heard as well, again, I think it was in Sky commentary saying that he was actually headhunted by Kia's representatives.
Yeah. Doesn't Kia have a link to Atletico Madrid? And
I think he has a link to every single club in the world.
I think Kia has a link to Simeone. Simeone's obviously was roommates with Velko when he's there.
Sky may have mentioned that a few hundred times, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that might... Kia goes to Simeone, do you know anyone? And he goes, I know this guy who just got sacked from DC United, wasn't it? Was it DC United? No, Chicago Fire.
Chicago Fire.
So that might be... I think Simeone might have some sort of part to play in that one, maybe? I don't know. Bold statement.
But do you think now that the Reading owners... do you think that there is now... I think if we look about what Dye's done is he's come in, he's tried to rush things to get us back to the Premier League and then piss the money at the wall and then try and get us there. But I think maybe under Gomez and under Bowen, he's realised, actually, we need to have a manager that we're going to base a long-term project on and build a team to exactly what he needs. And for me, I think that's what he's done this year, and I can only see more positives going forward. Ryan?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. You can see as well, like, he is the right man for, like, he's exactly what you want, because you can see he's good with youth.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of young players coming through.
Yeah.
When you think, like, how many under-18 players have made their debut already this season? I think Onan, who we didn't sign in the summer, was probably 8th, 9th.
I think we signed him in October, mate, so stop crying.
The summer transfer window.
Yeah. Carry on talking, I'm Googling something.
Well, no, yes. He's done well. There's that board outside where the box entrances and stuff is, where there's like the board of all the youth academy players that graduate.
Yeah. It's full
I think he must have added at least 10 or 11 players to that list, just in the Luton Colchester games and stuff.
Yeah. Well, think you've got Melvin Lambert, Onan.
Onan's not an academy graduate, so he won't go up. He's not an academy graduate.
Yeah, true.
He's a Brentford academy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And talking of under 18, I found a little stat here I want to get your opinion on. Talking of the teenagers with the most tackles in Europeans' top 5 leagues, plus the championship this season. Number 1 is Eduardo Cavringard from France. Number 2 is Thomas Estevez, who's made 25. Eduardo's made 27. Kieran Thuram has made 17. Judd Bellingham has made 15. And I'm not even going to pronounce fifth because that is just he's finished, and that's a name and a half, has made 15. So Thomas Estevez has made 25 tackles, the most in the most of the European top 5 leagues, plus the championship, out of any teenager this season. What have you made of his progress this season? Or do you think he's made any?
I'm going to completely ignore what you said, Dan, and say I want to see him play as a winger.
Yeah, yes. Or as a number 10. Possibly.
Not a number 10, no.
I think he's
got him up front. I bet you next week, I bet you Brentford, he'll be up front.
He's not. I was talking about my mate. I was talking to my mates at Reading fans about it. I was like, imagine we see Estevez as the false 9.
I'll take that.
He's not. He can't. I do see you playing him on the wingers. I don't think he's actually that good at crossing the ball.
Well, yeah, when I went to go and watch him against Forest and he come on, he made 2 or 3 great crosses out of the whole game, and no one else made any good crosses. At least made good passes, but when he took a corner, he couldn't beat the first man, nor could Ejaria. Estevez.
You always have that issue. We can never beat the first man off a corner.
No, it fucking pisses me off. I said this with my father-in-law when I went to the Forest game, was there should be a law that if you don't miss the first man, you get punched in the face, because it pisses me off how many times these fuckers get paid so much, but they can't get the ball over the first man. Right. Talking of a wonder kid, let's talk a little bit about Michael Elise, shall we, for a second? I want to get your both opinion on the conversation we had.
I was hoping you was just going to say some random person from our academy then.
But we had a conversation on Monday about Michael Elise among all teenagers in the championship this season. Let's look where he's got the most assists, he's got the most key passes, he's second in the most goals, second in the most dribbles, second in the most passes, second in the most attempted tackles, and second in the most fouled player out of all the teenagers in the championship. We had a debate on Monday, which then spilled over to Twitter, and there was a poll, and it went through on there, that with Elise, his contract runs out in 18 months. If you were the owners, and I'll tell you what the fans think in a minute, I don't know whether you guys have seen it, the final results or anything, what would you guys do now?
Do not sell him in January. Keep him till the end of the summer. See if he'll sign a new contract.
But you're risking. Okay, so I'm gonna flip that. Is you're now risking
in a loader situation,
going on another loader situation where you now have a wonder kid that could go for free to a very high profile team, and we could get a small amount of percentage of sell on that you would get from the arbitration. You look at Danny Loader. For me, this is a situation I've been thinking about, and I'm still bitter. And I put this on Twitter. I'm still very bitter about the way that Bowen treated Loader for him to leave the club. Because if you look at Loader's record at the moment in Portugal, in 10 games, he's got 5 goals. He's a 1 in 2 game goal guy at the moment. For me, I think he would work perfectly under Paunovic's tactics, cutting inside on the wing, getting an attacking third. I think he would have been perfect. For me, I put the debate up of I would offer him a contract now that would either put a sell-on clause in where a club in a division above or a club in the Champions League has a release clause in it. I also said that if he doesn't sign that by January the 1st, I would sell him in January, because you're risking the summer, because in the summer, clubs will go, he's only got 12 months left. He's only 19. We'll wait a year. He's going to get played. Reading are not going to drop him.
I don't know.
Have to play. Our clubs could pay now 30, 40 million in January, because you look at some clubs that are interested. Arsenal, I've seen a few clubs in the Premier League. Leipzig are interested. Salzburg are interested. There's a few clubs in France, Spain as well. They could easily go for 30, 40 million now. In the summer, They ain't going to pay that with a guy who's got 12 months left.
I think you can't give him to January 1st because that doesn't give it enough time for if.
Yeah, that's literally like
a
14
week and a
days
half,
away.
2 days.
2
He's
weeks
got 14 days to sign it or fuck off.
No, because I think you give it. I think you give it.
You don't sell your best players.
I think you give him
Well,
a
you
month.
do if they have
Yeah,
18 months left, and you can make a massive profit that can help your
Yeah, but
finance.
you can.
No, you don't.
No. What you do is you give
Not
him.
at
You
all.
give him a month, and you say this is what we think your value is, but we're willing to negotiate on this. And then if he wants a little bit, if it's something extraordinary, and you're not willing to do it, you don't do it, and then you sell him on. You still have half of January to move him on. But what the best move for us is offer him a new deal. If he says no, you sell him to a club who will loan him back to the end of the season, and you have a clause of if we get promoted, we can then buy him back for the same you paid for him. I think it's the smartest.
That would never happen.
That would never happen, but you never. It's me dreaming, basically. But I think if he doesn't want to sign a new contract, a sell to loan him back for the rest of the season is the perfect deal.
I see a lot of people.
The whole time you were saying that, I just wanted to interrupt you and just say you don't sell your best players. You're fifth in the championship, 4 points off second.
But this is where I completely and utterly disagree. I don't care if he's our best player, because the thing for me is at this precise moment. Let's just say, according to some reports, I'm not saying this is true, I'm not saying this is false. Some reports are saying that Dye, since he's taken over Reading, has injected 150 million of his own money into the club. Okay. That's more money than Reading probably ever make each season on any merchandise or financial fair play they're ever going to make. We're not a big enough club to generate that much money. So what's the best way to do that? And especially with this year, I think with the 3-year plan that people are talking about with the financial fair play. This is the only time, in my opinion, I couldn't give a shit if we're top of the league, okay? I couldn't care less, because we're now going to be missing out on money on a player that's not going to... Is Elise long-term for Reading? No. Is Elise a short-term fix for a long-term project? 100%. Elise can now do a job for us. That will change it. 30, 40 million comes in. You could spend it on maybe 3 players, 2-3 players you can get, and strengthen the depth of what we've got.
You get 6 or 7 good squad players.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You could either get 6 or 7 squad players, or 2 or 3 excellent players that could fill little gaps here and there and come in and rotate and change, or you're going to risk a fact where you've got a youngster who, and I completely agree with Courtney on this one, that he is not a long-term fix for Reading. He is not going to be here in 3-4 years' time. I will put my hat on. He will not be here by the end of the summer. Not at all. I don't think he will be here by September.
Unless he signs a contract extension.
If he doesn't sign a contract by middle of January, he has to be sold.
He has to get. What would you say about Omar Richards then, who's got, you'd say it's 18 months left in his deal?
I think he's got 6 months.
Is he out at the end of the season, or is he out in January? 18 months, sorry.
End of the season.
Is he end of the season?
Yeah.
So with him, there's even more pressure to move on. I feel.
Yeah, so for me, if he's out of it doesn't say 20. So next year is his last year of his deal. For me, if he doesn't sign one by the beginning of January, then I would look to sell him a bit cheaper, but with a higher percentage on sell-on fee, because he's going to grow, and he's interested by West Ham, and they're in desperate need of a good wing back to go there. So for me, but
they've got Aaron Creswell that already plays in the same position.
Yeah, but have you seen Aaron Creswell?
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's been alright at the moment.
He's the most inconsistent left back I know.
I think Palace is the main one that's also interested in Richards. Yeah, that I've seen.
Again, they've got Tyreek Mitchell.
Yeah, they're not going to bring anyone in when they got Mitchell, and I've seen a lot of people really like Mitchell as well. So I think if they're going to,
they might see the Aaron Wan-Bissaka situation where you have Mitchell, who you then sell on for a big fee, and then you have Richards, who's almost on the back burner. Who once Mitchell goes, you bring Richards back.
You wouldn't do that in January. No one's going to go out and pay 50 million for a fullback in January.
No.
Yeah.
So the issue we have now is: are we going to get rid of Richards if he doesn't sign a new deal now in January?
They've been talking about one, haven't they? There's been
talks. There's talks, and all Courtney knows so far is there are very advanced talks, but it's still up to the player and the agent to sign. But the agent could be going in his ear, remember, you've got Premier League clubs wanting you. And that's the one thing that we've got to try and remember is, yeah, he's good, but I still think Elise has to, if he doesn't sign, and I didn't say this on the podcast on Monday, but I thought of it since then, was why not offer him a 2-year deal? A 2-year deal.
From the end of the season or from
the end of this season, from the 18 months that he's got, so that'll be a 3-year deal altogether, 4-year deal.
2023.
2023, yeah.
2023.
Yeah, 2023, but put a release clause in there that if a club over like the top half of the Premier League or any foreign clubs have to pay this amount of money for you to go. And if they don't, you stay. I know it's not very well known in England to have release clauses, and it's very well known in Spain because I think you have to have release clauses. You have to have a release clause in Spain. That's why when you play for Barcelona, you instantly get like 300 million release clause. So
that Inaki Williams has the best contract.
Yeah, he's got such an expensive release clause. He's signed like an 8-year deal or something.
12 year contract, and I think it's about 116 million release clause.
As Alex Saint-Maximin has just signed a 6-year extension.
Newcastle, yeah.
At Newcastle, which is brilliant. But talking of possible targets that we could be going for, there's reports going in this past week that there's a potential signing we could make with the guy who's got 6 months left. It's Sherwin Seedorf, who is the nephew of Clarence Seedorf. He's 22 years old. He's Netherlands. He's a Netherlands, obviously. He's a left winger. At the moment, he is currently playing for Motherwell. He's played 73 times for them. He's got 6 goals and he's been directed assist 8 times. His contract runs out at the end of the season. I've seen a lot of good things about him, but I've also seen a lot of bad things about him.
I think from what I've seen, he's a bit like, and heard from, I've got friends who are Scottish who know about like the SPFL and that. I think he seems like a bit of a Mate type where he's fast and strong, but he's not really got much end product, or he's seemed to grow with a bit of end product this season at least.
So do you think then that's what they're going to be looking for? Is if Mate seems to be, this squad seems to be a bit injury prone. So do you think they're going to be, Ryan, I'm going to go for you on this one. Do you think they're going to start looking at direct replacements to a player that's already in the first 11 that could easily just slot in? Or do you think they're going to vary it up with the signings that they make?
I think it's going to be a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a player that is capable of stepping into the first team when there's an injury. However, a winger is something that we all know we very, very much miss.
Yeah.
So would you be, I'm not saying we're going to sign him. This is just speculation at this point. This is just a conversation with speculation going on. Would you sign him if you were the manager now?
I'd offer him a deal so that he comes at the end of the season. So like a pre-contract for the end of the season.
Would you do a Josh Laurent contract where it's a 2-year deal to see how he gets on?
I'll do a 2-year deal, and then after a year we talk. It'd be one of those where you do a 2-year deal, but after the first year you talk about what his position is at the club.
I definitely feel like that's what Reading have to do with Josh Laurent at the end of this year.
I think he'll get a contract. I think he'll get a 3 or 4 year deal at the end of the season. Unless he really falls off a cliff in the second half of the season.
I'm happy to give him a 12-year contract now.
Well, with a £160 million release clause.
He's worth more than that.
He's been excellent for us this year.
There was one bit yesterday. Was it we had a corner and they went on the counter and he sprint back and got the ball, beat 2 defenders, and then played it into the middle.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to Brentford coming up this weekend. Let's go through some of their history before we get into it. Brentford.
Can we not, because we don't have a good history?
It's
I've got it up on my phone.
yeah. So
We don't have good recent history.
No, not recent history, not at all.
Reading have beaten Brentford 37 times. Reading have drawn against Brentford 25 times, and we have lost 34 times. In the previous 5 fixtures, we started from this 20th of January 2018. We lost 1-0, then we drew 2-2, then we beat them at home 2-1, and then we lost 1-0, and then we lost 3-0. Thomas Frank, the Brentford's manager, he has played Reading 3 times. He has beat us twice and lost once. Brentford's current run of form goes like this. If I can, why is my phone decided to freeze? TikTok on the clock. DJ, turn this music up. Here we go. Previous 5 fixtures. Let's go back when they beat QPR 2-1 on the 27th of November. They then beat Rotherham 2-0. They then drew with Blackburn 2-2, drew with Derby 0-0, beat Forest 3-1, and at the weekend they drew 1-1 with Brentford. They currently sit.
They are Brentford.
Yeah.
They are 6th. What have I said?
You said they drew 0-0 with Brentford.
Brentford, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Watford, I mean.
Watford.
I have the friggin' logo there. They currently sit 6th in the league, 1 point behind us at the moment, but they have a 5-goal better goal difference than us at the moment. Their top goal scorer and the top goal scorer of the league is Ivan Toney, who they paid 11 million for, I think, after selling Ollie Watkins in the summer. How do you think this is going to go? Ryan, I'll go to you first.
Oh, okay, right.
Easy dub.
I hate it when you do that. So let's go through.
They're missing 2 very important players. They're missing Norgard, the one that always seems to pull off absolute wonders when he plays against us, and Ethan Pinnock. And he is by far their best defender.
So let's go through what we did a podcast with Adam. With the podcast with Adam, let's just say the Norwich game, just going to go through it. Yeah, hold on, I know. The Norwich game, me and Ryan got 0 points as we didn't get correct the overall score. The QPR game, me and Ryan got half a point because we corrected that Reading would win, but we did correct the correct actual score. And Adam got 0, but Adam got 3 points in the Norwich game as he correctly predicted a 2-1 win. In this game, I have predicted a 2-2 draw. Ryan has predicted a 2-1 win, and so has Adam as well. Josh, I'm going to go to you.
Can we please deduct Adam points for being so fucking negative?
Yes. I probably will do that because he's pissing me off how negative he is most of the time.
Minus 150 points.
It depends how many points he gets at the end. It might be as many points as I minus him. So we'll see about that. Just wait till the Christmas.
He came up with this treatment after Wednesday.
Yeah. So, Josh, we're going to add you into this next month as well. We're going to add you into the overall predictions going into it. I just need to find a way of adding you into the graphics.
Can I run through the games with him now then?
In a minute. We'll do it in a minute.
Okay.
We'll do
I'll
it in a
put
minute.
you on the spot.
Yeah, we'll do it in a minute. How are you seeing this Brentford game going, and and what do you think the full-time score is going to be?
I think it might be fairly cagey to begin with, and then the game will become much more open like towards the end, and it could get a bit hectic towards the end with goals and refereeing decisions, because we all know that EFL love to have some shoddy referees.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Translates to easy dub.
Yes. Did you know if you go in the dictionary?
So what are you thinking the final score is going to be?
I'm going to stay positive and I'm going to say a 1-0. It doesn't sound positive, but a 1-0 win.
All right, so Ryan.
You literally just said there's going to be a lot of goals at the end.
Yeah, you said
No,
there's going
I'm
to be a
saying
lot
it.
of goals and then 1-0.
Possibly. I said possibly. I said
He's
possibly.
backtracking now. He's backtracking.
No, I don't know. I just don't trust our attack to score many. Is the main issue. If there's going to be a lot of goals,
I'm going to let you ask. Yeah, go on.
There's going to be a lot of goals at the end. It's going the other way. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So, Ryan, I'm going to let you go through the teams that we talked about on the podcast, and then I will try and edit the graphic. It's going to take so long. I'm going to try and update the graphic so I can add Josh onto it. Coming up for when you guys see this on Saturday morning, I will release the proper. So I've got all of Friday to do it. So thanks for that. So, Ryan. So we're going with the Brentford game. What's the next fixture?
Right. Luton at home.
That's Boxing Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2-0 win. Okay.
Then Swansea away.
1-1 draw.
He's about the same as fucking Adam at the moment.
No.
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 Adam predicted us to be on deducted points by this stage.
He would have gone financial fair play. Our finance are not good enough.
Huddersfield away.
3-1 win.
He's even more positive than me about that.
And that's quite worrying.
It's my severe hate for Huddersfield, and I can't predict anything other than us battering them.
And then we did the FA Cup.
Finally, Luton away in the FA Cup.
For me to be asleep during the 90 minutes, no.
1 to 100.
2-0 win. I don't know.
He was not as positive as me.
Yeah, but it depends if he puts the kids out again, doesn't it?
That really does sound a bit pedo-y, just saying. That's a good sound. So we will release this graphic and release everything to you this Saturday for you. That Josh is now going to be a regular on the Reading FC podcast now as well. I keep farting, I tell you what, I've got stomach issues. So he will be coming on the podcast a lot more, so he will get involved a lot more on Twitter and everything else. Don't forget to go and go and follow Ryan, and don't forget to go and follow Josh on the Twitter. And the links will be down below for the description for them, so go and check them out. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys ever so much for coming on. Thank you, Josh, for welcoming on the first. Why the fuck are you licking a Pringle?
I just saw that in the corner of my eye. Yeah.
I was talking, and all I could see on the corner of my eye was him going, I know you haven't had any action in a long time, but you don't need to practice on a fucking Pringle.
You do it to get the flavour.
No, you shove it in your mouth and fucking eat it.
No. Tell you what, when we're done here,
out of context, Mark.
when we've done here, go and get a Pringle and lick it.
No, I'm not allowed to have a Pringle for Christmas. I've been banned. I've been banned from the Christmas cupboard.
No, you're not eating them if you're licking them.
Just pulls them out of the pot. They're all just liquid.
I'm sorry. Please say that again. Please, I've got a really good moment. Say what you just said again.
You're not eating them if you're licking them.
That's what she said.
What did you say the other day in the other podcast we recorded?
I can't.
You talked about, you said I've got a fiance, lady, so put the fanny away or something.
Who said that?
He said it.
I can't remember which one I said. Did I say it on with you, or did I say it on something else?
This is the one with me, the F1 one where we recorded it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it made the cut. I don't know if it made the cut in the end.
No, did it? No, it didn't. Did it? It got cut out, didn't it?
It got cut out because of
my technical difficulties.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing is when you watch the Christmas Day episode, it is a very brilliant He's fucking done it again. Very brilliant Christmas Day episode. There's a lot of good joy. I got battered for how shit I was as a presenter during it, which was fair because I was. But Johnny come out with the greatest line that I think I've ever heard. And I can't remember if it was in the recording of the podcast or if it was before it. I can't remember. I think it was in the recording. If it's not, then I will say it afterwards. But if it is, you guys really do need to check it out. So this Sunday, just
absolute calamity, absolute joke, total injustice.
Could have punched him.
The disrespect
to you, mate.
The disrespect for the game, and not only for the quiz, but the disrespect for Will. I mean, he was.
He deserved it though.
Yeah,
he did deserve it.
He got mugged right off, and fully deserved. I have no shame in it either whatsoever. So a quick context for everyone watching or listening at home. This Sunday we are recording our New Year's Day special. We've got a couple of guests, and one that was meant to be in the Christmas Day episode is now coming into this episode this Sunday. And we've got a gentleman that does a lot of our Instagram live. That it should be coming along with us as well. So we should have 6-7 people coming in for the New Year's Day, as well as these two Muppets as well, coming along.
I might boycott it out of protest.
Oh, God, I couldn't give a shit. So come along, check it out. New Year's Day, when you lot are hungover at home and you just want to sit, shove something on TV, have a bit of a laugh. We have got that. It is a football quiz. It is a general knowledge football quiz. It is nothing to do with Reading. It is a general knowledge quiz. I've got each round. There are some easy, some medium, and some fucking hard ones that I've put in there for everyone as well. Even I went, Jesus, no one, I'm putting it in. So that's going to be coming to you guys New Year's Day. Monday will be a podcast with me and Courtney, and then the same again next week. Tuesdays, WWE. Wednesdays with the Muppet in the top right, on my screen anyway, which you can recall from. The Muppet in the top right.
You're in the top right of mine, you fucking Muppet.
I'm in the top right of my own one. This is a shame. This is a real shame.
And we will be back Thursdays, NFL, where we will discuss all things that happen throughout the NFL. And next Friday, we will be back, us three, again, and we will build up to the previous game. We will review the previous games before and build up to this weekend's action.
I might boycott it out of protest.
Good. And we will see you guys when we see you. Bye.
Can we put a poll on Twitter and ask if licking Pringles is normal?
I'm going to put a poll on. I'm going to put a poll on now. Right. Bye.